Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, I've heard that theory before. This idea sometimes comes up in Hebrew roots or Torah-keeping circles. But the fact is that there's no historical or manuscript evidence to support the idea that the New Testament was originally composed in Hebrew. All of the earliest manuscripts we have are in Greek. And the early church fathers who quoted the New Testament extensively did so from Greek texts. And this actually makes sense because Greek was the common language of the Roman Empire at that time. And if the apostles wanted their writings to be read and circulated as broadly as possible, not just to Jews, but to everyone, well then Greek was the natural choice. It's like today. If you want the most people to read your book, you'll publish it in English because that's the common language around the globe today. And here's the thing. By the first century, Hebrew was not commonly spoken among the Jewish people. After the Babylonian exile, Aramaic had become their everyday language, and Hebrew was largely confined to religious and scholarly use, right? It was the language used in scripture reading and the synagogue and the temple. So Jesus would have spoken and read Hebrew. We know this because Luke 4 shows us that he was reading a scroll from Isaiah in the synagogue. But in daily life, Jesus and his disciples spoke Aramaic. In fact, the New Testament quotes Jesus in several places speaking Aramaic words and phrases like Abba and Talitha cumi and Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. But the inspired writings themselves were composed in Greek for maximum reach. And of course, living in the Roman Empire in the first century, Jesus probably knew Greek as well since it was the common trade language of the day. Now that said, it's important to acknowledge that the New Testament is still thoroughly Jewish in its roots. Its authors were Jewish, it's steeped in the Hebrew scriptures, and they often wrote with Hebraic thought patterns and idioms and imagery. So while the New Testament wasn't written in Hebrew, it is full of Hebraic content and grounded in the history of Israel.